stand, please? All rise. The 18th District Court for the State of Michigan is now in session. The Honorable Mark A. McConnell presiding.
Please be seated. Good morning. Welcome to Constitution Day. Does everybody know what Constitution Day signifies? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, and some no, sir. So you're learning a little bit about that in class? So in 1787, a bunch of people got together and signed a document that we call the United States Constitution that set up the framework of our government, which includes 3 separate branches of government: the executive, legislative, and judicial. Do you know which part of the Constitution the court is a part of? Judicial. Good answer. We got a good volunteer in the front here, too. So, yeah, we are a part of the judicial branch. As I said, it's 3 separate branches of government that all have different checks and balances on each other. And we're happy to be here today, as we were last year, and have done a number of times over the years to bring our court to you into the classroom, essentially. So these are real cases with real people that have volunteered, sort of volunteered, to come here and have their cases heard in front of you today. We do give them a little bit of consideration on some of the fines and costs and maybe work program days, considering that they've come here to help us out, helping you out, getting this great opportunity to see court, real live court in your school. So please be patient and act appropriately towards them. We will give you an opportunity to answer questions at the end if we have some time, and we usually do. So like I said, these are real cases with real people, so you're getting a really good opportunity to see the inner workings of what happens in a court. We are a court of record, so we have my court recorder, Secretary Carla, who will be taking everything down. The equipment's working, right? That's fantastic. She'll be taking everything down that happens here today, because we are a court of record and everything that happens here has to be recorded. I also have our court officer, Zach, and Dennis, the other court officer, floating around. They're here to make sure that everything runs smoothly and efficiently, and that everybody acts appropriately. We do have some Westland police officers here. We have our Deputy Chief, Robert Wilkie, is here today. Thank you for coming, Chief. And then new this year is the new school resource officer, Officer Jackson Allison. He's here today as well, and you'll be seeing him throughout the year, probably as he stops by performing his duties here at Adams. So with that, we'll start with the first case that we have ready today, and that's case number 15 on your docket, People versus Jamie Snowden.
Ready, Your Honor. Good morning, Judge. Attorney John Camilleri on behalf of the defendant Jamie Snowden, who's present to my right.
All right, and you are Jamie Snowden?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, here today for an arraignment pretrial.
Judge will waive the formal reading and stand mute.
All right, I will enter a not guilty plea.
Thank you.
What an arraignment is the first time somebody's appearing in court. At that time, they're entitled to hear what the charges are and what the maximum possible punishment of those charges are. His attorney has waived the reading of those pieces of information and asked that a not guilty plea be entered. I will set a $5,000 bond, personal bond. Conditions of that bond: no harm or contact to Daniel Davidson. Stay off of 8249 Ravine and Westland. No contact means no phone calls, letters, emails, text messages. If you see him someplace, you have an obligation to go the other direction. Make all of your court dates. Your next court date will be October 7th. Good with you?
I do have to be in person at 2A District Court, which is Adrian, on October 7th at 8:30, Judge. I can do the afternoon or
1:30 good? All right, 1:30? And that'll be on Zoom.
Thank you, Judge.
Yep, and so if you're still stuck there, you can call in from there. All right. And Mr. Snowden, you have a smartphone or computer you can use to zoom in?
Yes.
All right, we'll get you all that information on how to zoom in for that next court date, and then we'll give you a notice for the October 7th at 1:30.
Thank you,
All right,
Judge.
thanks.
Have a
Thank
good
you, Your
day.
Honor.
Thank you. And so I set a bond on that case, and a bond is something that's designed to ensure safety of the public and also ensure that the defendant comes back to court. Obviously, he's retained an attorney in this situation, so the likelihood that him comes back, it's a little higher when there's a retained attorney involved because they've paid that individual to be here, and that individual knows the system and knows that the client has to come back. And the other part of it is to make sure that the public is safe. So in this situation, I entered an order requiring him not to go to the address where this incident occurred of malicious destruction of property and assault and battery. Also not to have any contact with the person that was involved so that that person is safe. And you probably noticed that I do a lot of writing when I'm up here. We have files that we have to write everything that occurs in, so I had to write the bond conditions in. I'm also now completing an order of conditional release, which has all of the bond conditions in it. This will be taken back to the court, and it will be entered in what's called the Law Enforcement Information Network, which has information about individuals. So if a police agency were to come into contact with the defendant and he's in contact with the victim, they would see that they're not allowed to have any contact with each other, which would be a violation of the bond, a valid basis for arresting that individual and then setting it for a hearing in court to determine if the bond violation occurred or not. So. All right, case number 13 on your docket, People versus Dennis Schmidt.
Good morning, Your Honor. Darren Weinberg on behalf of Mr. Schmidt.
All right, good morning. You are Dennis Schmidt?
Yes, sir.
All right, and Mr. Weinberg, you are court-appointed counsel for Mr. Schmidt?
That is correct, Your Honor.
All right, and you have been doing court-appointed counsel for the city of Westland for 29 years?
Ish, yes.
Ish?
Yes.
Tell the students a little bit about what your job has been through the course of that time period.
Well, people that get charged with crimes are entitled to have an attorney, especially with the way the status of the law is now. So myself and several other attorneys are regularly in the 18th District Court, and we represent people from the beginning stage of an arraignment all the way through if it goes to trial or a plea or gets dismissed. So we're there to help them make sure they understand the system and exercise their rights and make sure they're treated fairly in the process. So, and to answer any questions they may have.
All right, thank you. And Mr. Schmidt, it looks like this is the second time you've come for a pretrial, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, and it appears that both times the victim of the misdemeanor case has failed to appear. Mrs. Bona, resolution today?
Thank you, Your Honor. Jackie Bona appearing on behalf of the city of Westland. We have tried to contact the complainant a couple of times now. Is it better if I sit here? Hello, hello?
That's better.
Better? Okay. Sorry, Your Honor, I'm going to sit down so I
That's
can
fine.
be heard. Thank you, Your Honor. We have attempted to contact the complainant a couple of times now. That person has failed to appear today. Therefore, we have resolved the case with a civil infraction. It's my understanding the defendant will be pleading responsible to the amended charge of uniform traffic code violation. The other charges would be dismissed upon acceptance of that plea.
All right, thank you. Mr. Schmidt, that's your understanding of what you're doing today?
Yes, sir.
So that on June the 19th, 2025 at Ford and Wayne Road here in the city of Westland, you violated the uniform traffic code?
Yes, sir.
All right, I will accept your plea. Mr. Weinberg, satisfied with the factual basis?
I am, Your Honor.
All right, pursuant to the fine schedule is a $180 fine. How long will it take you to take care of that?
He indicates he can pay that today when he gets back to the court.
Okay.
Is that correct?
Yep.
All right, we'll take you back to take care of that, and then you're all done, okay?
All right, thank you.
Thanks.
All right, good luck.
So on every case, when we're taking a plea, we have to make sure that The jurisdiction of the court is established, which means that it happened here in the city of Westland, the date, and that the facts setting forth the plea are sufficient, and that's something that's required by the Michigan court rules. People versus Robert Battistatelli.
Your Honor, for the record, Darren Weinberg on behalf of Mr. Battistatelli, who's approaching.
Yep, thank you. Case number 2 on your docket. Oof.
Stand on this side.
All right. You are Robert Battistatelli?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did I say that right?
Yes.
All right, good. Mrs. Bona?
Thank you, Your Honor. Jackie Bona appearing on behalf of the city of Westland. I have discussed this matter with Mr. Weinberg, talked about the case a little bit. He's agreed to give the defendant a very stern warning not to do this again, and in return, Your Honor, we would move to dismiss this case.
All right. Mr. Weinberg, that's correct?
Your Honor, that's correct. Just for arraignment purposes, waive a formal reading and stand mute.
All right.
Did talk to Mr. Battistatelli. I think this is a Jolly Rancher situation that, when it gets hot and sticky, and he had a little piece on that, and he was trying to get that off his finger. He's 68 years old, has never been in trouble before, so the prosecutor used very good judgment, I believe, and was very fair. And I'd like to just give him a warning, make sure this doesn't happen again. He's never been in trouble before, and he has nothing on his driving record even. So he understands circumstances. He's going to make sure this doesn't happen again.
Okay, all right. Case is dismissed on the prosecutor's motion. You're free to go back to court.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're all set.
Thanks.
All right, case number 10 on your docket, People versus Sidney Lewis.
Your Honor, again, Darren Weinberg on behalf of Sidney Lewis.
You are Sidney Lewis?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Your Honor, for purpose of arraignment, we'd waive a formal reading and stand mute.
All right, we'll enter a not guilty plea. Mrs. Bona?
Your Honor, I'm sorry, I was talking to one of the tech people.
Sidney Lewis.
Which docket number is it?
10.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Your Honor. Jackie Bona appearing on behalf of the city of Westland. It's my understanding that the case is going to be adjourned for some discovery for Mr. Weinberg. Also, we are going to send a second notice to the victim in this case.
Discovery order?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay. I will set, for arraignment purposes, $5,000 personal bond. We'll set a pretrial date for October 14th.
We're going to give you a notice, but.
Is that good? That'd be enough time to get the discovery, Mr. Weinberg?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. 8:30 good for you, Ms. Lewis? It'll be on Zoom?
Yes, that's
Okay. Got a smartphone or computer you can use to Zoom in?
Yes.
All right, we'll get you instructions on how to do that, and a notice for that court date, and then we'll see you on Zoom then, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Get back on the bus.
So what discovery is an opportunity for the defense attorney to get information from the police department that they have regarding the evidence that they have regarding the case. Do you have a discovery order? Oh, there it is, sorry. And I sign an order that authorizes the defense attorney to go to the police department and pick up the documents that they have. I guess by way of a little bit of background, I started in the city attorney's office in Westland in 1995, so 30 years ago, and I sat in the spot for a number of these law days or Constitution days that Mrs. Bona is sitting in right now. And over the course of that time period, there's been a big change in the types of discovery or evidence that the police have in cases. So when I started, there wasn't a lot of video. So discovery was mainly police reports and any other written documentation that was available that the police had and used in their investigation. As I went through the city attorney's office prosecuting these cases, we got in-car cameras. They weren't of the greatest quality at first, but there was some video evidence of the crimes that people were charged with where there was evidence on video showing what had happened or circumstances surrounding what had happened before or after. And then people started with cell phones recording things, and then now there's cameras on houses, there's cameras on businesses, there's cameras on traffic lights. So all those types of things are now discovery, and police now have body cameras on their uniforms indicating what they are observing firsthand as they're dealing with situations. So the type of discovery that's happened from when I started until now is quite different, and as you can imagine, with video, it's been very helpful in getting cases resolved because everybody can really see exactly what it is that had happened at the time the person was accused of committing a crime. So I sign these orders, and then we get them over to the police, and they provide documentation to the defense lawyer, and the prosecutor also has the ability to see that information as well, and it again helps get these cases resolved. Number 9 on your docket, Baranis Kellum. Steve.
Make sure.
Good morning.
Yep. Hi, you are Baranis Kellum?
Yes, I
All
am.
right. Your lawyer will be here in just a second.
Okay. There you go.
Exit stage center.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Mr. Bayuk, your appearance?
Good morning, Steve Bayuk on behalf of Ms. Kellum, Your Honor.
All right. Mrs. Bona?
Thank you, Your Honor. Jackie Bona appearing on behalf of the City of Westland. It's my understanding that the defendant will be pleading responsible to an amended charge of prohibited parking, and the original charge would be dismissed upon acceptance of that plea.
All right. Ms. Kellum, that's your understanding of what you're doing today?
Yes, I do.
All right. So you were parked your vehicle in an improper manner at 1966 Gulfview here in Westland on July 30th, 2025?
Yes,
All right. Mr. Bayuk satisfied with the factual basis of that plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Zach, how much is that, 90? 95. $95 for that pursuant to the fine schedule. How long will it take you to take care of that?
I could pay it today.
Okay.
when I
All
get
right.
back.
We'll get you to take care of that when you get back to court, okay? Thank you.
Okay.
Have a good day.
Thank
too.
you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
I'm gonna double check.
85.
85, we got it.
Oh, 85.
Yep. Yes. Did they just go sit back down?
People versus Ahmed Aboud, case number 1 on your docket.
I have money, no problem.
I know. He's giving us a hard time, but we'll talk with him next time. Yep, I understand. Your Honor, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. You are Ahmed Aboud?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
And Steve Bayuk on behalf of Mr. Aboud.
All right, he's here today for arraignments.
That's right, Your Honor. And, Your Honor, we are asking for an Arabic interpreter to appear at our next court date. But as for today, I was able to communicate with Mr. Aboud, and he does understand that he is charged with a misdemeanor, and we would like to waive a formal reading at this time and ask the court to enter a plea of not guilty.
All right, we'll enter a not guilty plea. Mrs. Bona?
Thank you, Your Honor. Jackie Bona appearing on behalf of the City of Westland. I have had the opportunity to speak to both Mr. Bayuk, and there's a complaining witness that's present here today. It's my understanding that a couple of things are going to be happening. One, we're going to adjourn the case for an interpreter to be here, but also I believe Mr. Bayuk is going to be requesting a discovery order. There is some claim for restitution, but that will be addressed at a different date.
All right. So I'll set a $5,000 personal bond. Conditions of the bond: no harm or contact to Mohammed Razul Azmalapur. No contact means no phone calls, letters, emails, text messages. If you see him someplace, you have an obligation to go the other direction. Stay off of 2315 South Vinoy. Make all of your court dates. Your next court date will be October the 14th at 9 a.m. That'll be on Zoom if everybody has a smartphone or computer. If not, feel free to come in person. 5, 6, 7, 1.
So you can come in person or on Zoom next time. Are you familiar with Zoom? Okay, they'll give you information so you can join on Zoom on October 14th.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll have an interpreter that day.
Yes.
Okay.
Any questions, Mr. Baig?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, we'll get you a notification in just a minute.
He's going to give you one more piece of paper before you leave. Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, does that conclude this hearing at this time?
Yes.
Okay. You're going to go back to where we started, and then the next.
People versus Robert Bottom, number 4 on your docket.
Good morning, Your Honor. May it please this honorable court, Nicholas Bennett on behalf of Robert Bottom, who appears to my left. Sir, could you please state your name for the record?
Robert Bottom.
All right, it looks like, Mrs. Bona, what is the situation here?
Thank you, Your Honor. Jackie Bona appearing on behalf of the City of Westland. Mr. Bottom has been charged with 5 separate counts today, an operating while intoxicated, a driving while license suspended, a failing to stop at a property damage accident, refusal to take the PBT test, and driving without due care and caution, civil infraction. We have worked out a plea agreement this morning. It's my understanding that the defendant will be pleading guilty to an amended charge of operating while visibly impaired, failing to report an accident, and also responsible to the driving without due care and caution. And upon acceptance of those pleas, it's my understanding the court will dismiss the original charges.
All right, and Mr. Bottom, that is the plea you are taking today, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, before I can accept your plea, I have to be certain you understand by pleading guilty, you're waiving certain rights. Those rights are set forth for you in this advice of rights form. Did you have an opportunity to read, understand, go over these rights with Mr. Bennett?
Yes, sir.
Any questions about the rights you're waiving?
No, sir.
And no one has promised you anything or threatened you in any way today to get you to plead guilty, have they?
No, sir.
It's your own choice to plead guilty?
Yes, sir.
You were operating a motor vehicle here in the city of Westland on, at Warren and Hicks on August 13th, 2025.
Yes, sir.
Prior to operating that motor vehicle, you had consumed some alcohol.
Yes, sir.
Do you believe because of the consumption of that alcohol, your ability to operate that vehicle was less than an ordinary careful driver?
Yes, sir.
And you took a blood test with a result of 0.222 grams of alcohol per 100 milliliters of blood. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Any reason to dispute the accuracy of that test?
No.
All right, I will accept your plea. Mr. Bennett, satisfied with the factual basis?
For that count, yes, Judge.
I would think that that would also indicate that he was driving without due care and caution with a blood alcohol level that high, correct?
Yes, Judge. Also, he failed to report an accident.
All right. Yeah. And there was an accident where you were operating the vehicle,
Yes, sir.
and you failed to immediately report that to the police, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, I will accept your plea. Thank you, Mr. Bennett. Satisfied?
Yes, we are satisfied, Judge.
All right.
I just have one
We'll
question.
schedule this for sentencing and with a pre-sentence investigation. Sentencing will be, Carla, 6 weeks out? Is that October or November? October 30th at 8:30. That'll be in person at the court, as will be the pre-sentence interview. We'll take you back to court now and to probation. They'll get you started on the pre-sentence investigation process, okay?
Your Honor, we did have one question. My client has been daily PBTing
Okay.
since August 16th with no positive blows. Does the court wish him to continue that, or can we amend that, Your Honor?
We'll do weekend testing. Do you have a tether, or you been coming in?
He's been coming in.
Coming in? Yeah, we'll do weekend testing, okay? And then ETGs as well.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Yep.
Okay, you're all set.
And what the testing requirement is, a lot of times when someone's charged with a drug or an alcohol offense, we'll make sure that they're not continuing to use that substance by requiring that there's regular testing. There's a wide variety of ways that we can check that now. We have a device at the court where somebody can come in and we can test whether they are using any drugs or alcohol. There's also, for alcohol, there's also a portable device that they can rent from a company where they blow into it a number of times a day to make sure that there's no alcohol in their system. There's also alcohol tethers, which determine whether there's alcohol going in anybody's system or not. So there's a wide variety of ways that we can keep track of that and make sure that they aren't continuing to violate. All right, case number 3 on your docket, Brittany Blackwell.
Good morning, Judge. Nicholas Bennett on behalf of Brittany Blackwell, who appears to my left. Ma'am, state your name for the record.
Brittany Blackwell.
All right, Mrs. Bona?
Thank you, Your Honor. Jackie Bona, appearing on behalf of the City of Westland. It's my understanding that the defendant's requesting a jury trial in this matter.
All right, and requesting a jury trial at this time, Ms. Blackwell?
Yes.
All right, we'll set for a final settlement conference on October 21st at 1 p.m. That'll be in person at the court. Jury trial will be November 21st at 8:15, also at the court in person. If you fail to show for either one of those dates, you're telling me it's your desire to waive your right to that jury trial. You understand that?
Yes.
Okay. All right, we'll see you in person on October 21st at 1 p.m.
Okay.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
They're going to give you a notice.
All right, and that defendant is asking for a jury trial. Everybody who's charged with a crime that in Michigan has a potential punishment of going to jail has a right to have a trial not in front of a judge, but in front of a jury of 6 individuals from the community who would make a determination on whether the defendant is guilty or not guilty. And the prosecutor has a burden at that trial of proving the defendant guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. Zach, anything else back there? Who's this? Where is she? Okay. People versus Stephen Noves. Number 12 on your docket.
Morning, Your Honor. Thank you for getting my name right. No one ever gets it.
You're welcome.
Good morning, Your Honor. Regina Jemison, appearing on behalf of Mr. Novus, who is present and standing to my right.
All right, Mrs. Bona.
Thank you, Your Honor. Jackie Bona, appearing on behalf of the City of Westland. The defendant in this case has been charged with 5 separate charges: a driving while license suspended, not valid license, an expired plate, no proof of insurance, and open intoxicants in a motor vehicle. We have worked out a plea agreement, and it's my understanding that the defendant will be pleading guilty to an amended charge of allowing a suspended person to operate an open intoxicant in a motor vehicle and responsible to a uniform traffic code violation. If the court accepts those pleas, the original charges would be dismissed.
All right, and Mr. Noves, that's your understanding of what you're doing today?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, before I can accept your plea, I have to be certain you understand by pleading guilty or waiving certain rights. Those rights are set forth for you in this advice of rights form. You had an opportunity to read, understand, go over these rights with Mrs. Jemison.
Yes.
Any questions about the rights you're waiving?
Your Honor.
And no one's promised you anything or threatened you in any way today to get you to plead guilty, have they?
No, Your Honor.
It is your own choice to plead guilty.
Yes.
On August the 1st, 2025, at Michigan and Merriman here in the city of Westland, you allowed a suspended person operate a motor vehicle.
Yes, Your Honor.
You were in violation of the Uniform Traffic Code as well, and also in possession of an open intoxicant.
Yes, Your Honor.
What did you have that was open?
It was an old Bud Light can that on my passenger side floor that had a little left in it.
Okay, a little alcohol left in it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I will accept your plea. Satisfied with the factual basis?
Defense is satisfied, Your Honor.
Anything you'd like to tell me about your client before I impose sentence?
Your Honor, Mr. Novas is 42 years old. He's single. He has full-time employment. He's been at his current employment for 2 years. His only record is one previous alcohol conviction in North Carolina. He's had no incident since then and continues to be full-time employed. We're asking the court to set minimal fines and costs in this matter and close the matter out today.
All right. Mr. Novus, anything you'd like to tell me about yourself before I impose sentence?
No, I'll never do this again. I've had a rough year. I've lost my mother and 2 pets, and just looking for mercy in the fine so I can actually get this taken care of.
Okay.
Money's the issue.
All right, you need a little bit of time to pay?
Friday, I get paid today or Friday. Sometimes it comes 2 days early, so
Your Honor,
Friday.
if we could have 2 weeks for him to pay?
Sure.
Yeah, that'd
So what I'll do, since you came here today on the open intoxicants, I'll suspend sentence. You don't have to pay anything on that ticket. Same with the uniform traffic code violation. On the allow suspended, there's a $100 fine, $150 in court cost, $125 in mandatory state cost. So if I did my math right, that's $375. So you'll be able to take care of that by October 1st?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. If you can't take care of it by then, come in and see us. We can always work something out with you if you come in and talk to us, okay?
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Have a good day.
You too.
You're all set. You just go back to the court.
What's this? What's this one?
You're welcome.
What's the problem with that? I don't know. What is that?
Ms. Young.
So can you give me the other,
Ms. Young?
can you give me the other files?
I gave it to him. Okay, I'm sorry, Ms. Young. Sorry. Ms. Young?
It's not our case.
Apparently, we're not going out. Come back with me.
All right. People versus Drew Cloutier, number 5 on your dockets. Mrs. Bona?
Thank you, Your Honor. Being that I do not have the sheet for this, it's my understanding, I believe that the defendant is not present. We're asking for a warrant. I believe that there is a complainant here present, though. He did have an opportunity to speak with us, but the defendant himself is not here.
All right. Well, see, the defendant failed to appear. We'll schedule for a show cause. And another one of the things that's changed a lot since I started in the city attorney's office in 1995, legislation, the law is always changing. Cases, statutes, it's a never-ending cycle of changes. So one of the changes that happened more recently was if somebody in the past didn't show up to court, we could issue a warrant for their arrest. The law changed and now says, under most circumstances, we have to set another court date to find out why it is they didn't come in for the first court date before we can issue a bench warrant. So we have to set that case for another date, same warrant. Oh. We have to set it for another court date to find out why the person didn't come in. If they don't come in then we can issue the warrant. And I think the legislative intent behind that was to try and keep people out of custody pre-trial or pre-conviction. So that's one of the ways they came up with trying to keep the number of people that are in custody down before they've actually been convicted of something. People versus Cassie Delano. Mrs. Bona.
Which number is this, Judge?
Case number 7.
That's another one, Your Honor, where the defendant failed to appear this morning. So being that I don't have the file in front of me, I'm not sure if it's the first or the second time scheduled. So either a failed to show cause notice or a warrant, please.
All right, this is the first failure to appear. We will schedule for a show cause. Case number 8 on your docket, Sharifia Fambro. Mrs. Bona.
Thank you, Your Honor. Jackie Boner appearing on behalf of the City of Westland. That defendant also has failed to appear this morning, so we're requesting either a show cause or a warrant, depending on if it's the first or second time for not appearing. Thank you.
All right, this was the first failure to appear, so we will schedule that for a show cause. People versus Sean Mello. Mrs. Bona.
Thank you, Your Honor. Another person who has failed to appear this morning, asking for either a show cause or a warrant, depending on defendants, if this is their first or second time of not
This is
appearing.
the first failure to appear for the defendant, so we will schedule that for a show cause. Case number 14, Michael Smart. Mrs. Bona.
Thank you, Your Honor. Jackie Bona appearing on behalf of the City of Westland. Again, this particular defendant has failed to appear this morning, asking for either a show cause or a warrant for their arrest.
All right, this is the first failure to appear, so we will schedule that for a show cause. There was also, what was it contributing? Case number 6 on your docket. That defendant failed to appear, did appear, charged with contributing delinquency of a minor, which means they did something most likely to not properly take care of her children. She did show up at court today with 4 children, maybe to show us that she was properly taking care of her children. But we didn't have really the capacity to bring her and her 4 children over here, so we just gave her another court date. So that's what happened to that one. I think with that, we've covered all of the cases that are on your docket. And as you can see, we had a number of people that didn't show up. So like I said at the beginning, this is real court. This is what really happens. And unfortunately, there are times when a lot of people don't show up in court, which obviously makes scheduling cases difficult, which makes doing the same thing more than one time. Now we have to schedule all these cases again for another court date, which means that we can't schedule other ones. So like I said, this is real court. You're seeing what we actually go through on a regular basis. Obviously, we have more cases that are normally set on a morning when we would handle these types of cases. But you've seen real life stuff here. So we will have an opportunity for some questions, Mr. Mason, if you've got the microphone over there. And just a little bit more about our court, too. So as you saw today, you saw city misdemeanor violations. We also deal with the beginning phases of felony cases, which are the most serious criminal cases that we deal with. Those come in for arraignment when they're told what their charges are and the maximum possible punishment. Also, we have what's called a preliminary examination, which is a hearing to determine whether there's sufficient evidence to believe that the person charged with the crime committed a crime that's a felony. And we then send the case to the Wayne County Circuit Court Criminal Division in downtown Detroit for trials, pleas, and other matters. Our court also handles civil cases when someone or a business is suing somebody for less than $25,000. We have jurisdiction over those types of cases, which mainly is people that don't pay their rent, their credit card bill, their doctor, their mortgage. Those types of things. Anything over $25,000 would go to the Wayne County Circuit Court in downtown Detroit. Mr. Mason, any questions? Mike's not on? Yeah. Okay, all right. Okay. Do we have another microphone? Do you want to have him come up to the podium? Yeah, we have, or have him come up to the podium.
Yeah.
Mr. Mason?
All right, test.
Oh, there we go. That sounds like it's working.
All right, does anybody have any questions for the judge? Come on over, single file line, please.
Zach, make sure we write a note somewhere to schedule funny cases next year.
All right, guys, if you're gonna ask questions, come down the middle and come this way, all right?
Wow.
All All right, we're gonna hold off on the questions. We got enough people, so you guys can come up, get in line, and then.
Wow, a lot of questions out there.
Wow. Look at that.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Adams Eagles, thank you. We're still on court. We need you to listen. Thank you. All right, our first student is Logan, and Logan has a question for you.
Is there usually a gavel when you're in court?
I couldn't hear that.
He asked if you have a gavel with you.
If I have a gavel? Right here.
What's your name? Okay, this is Hendricks, and he's gonna ask you a question.
Have you ever sentenced someone like their whole life in prison?
To how long? Life? Yeah, and we only have jurisdiction up to 1 year in the district court, and city misdemeanor cases are a maximum of 93 days. A felony case where life in prison is a possibility, those cases start in front of us with an arraignment and the preliminary examination, but they would go to the Wayne County Circuit Court for sentencing on a life offense.
Okay, thank you, Judge. This is Aiden. He's gonna ask you a question.
What's the worst case you've ever dealt with?
The worst case, we have dealt with a lot of cases where someone has been murdered. Those are pretty bad cases. Obviously, the worst cases for me, I think, are the ones that are involving kids as victims. I don't like those cases. Those are always bad. I can't get used to that. I can get used to the murder and everything else, but I can't get used to the kids being a victim.
Okay, this is Melanie. She's gonna ask you a question about how you became a judge.
How many years have you been a judge?
I've been a judge for 16 and a half years now. Before that, like I mentioned, from 1995 until 2009, I was in the city attorney's office here in Westland. We are a private practice firm, so other than doing prosecuting and municipal work for the city, I also did a number of other things, criminal defense in other communities, personal injury, real estate, estate planning, divorce cases a little bit here and there. So I did a whole lot of stuff, like whatever legal need people had, I would handle their case. And for 2 years prior to that, after I got out of law school, I was a research attorney for the Michigan Court of Appeals, researching cases that would come from courts like this on appeal. Nice.
Judge, we do a lot of college and career readiness here. Where did you attend college, if you don't?
The funny thing about the microphone is that the speakers are all back there, so I can't, the microphone's not helping me hear what the questions are.
Where did you go to college?
I went to the University of Detroit Law School. You probably know it now as University of Detroit Mercy. They changed names right as I was there in school. And for undergrad, I went to Bowling Green State University in Ohio, where my mother and grandmother also went.
Alan, what's your question? All right, Alan's got a question for you.
What's your favorite thing about being a judge?
My favorite thing about being a judge is probably I have the ability to help people. One of the programs we have at the court is called a sobriety court, and that's for people who have 2 or more drunk driving offenses. And obviously they have a substance abuse problem, so it's a very intense program for the participants as well as for the judge and our court staff. We have a whole team of people that are involved in trying to help these people turn their lives around so they don't cause issues to their own health or issues to the public by driving while intoxicated. I think that's been really a really rewarding part of my job, is I get to help people in the sobriety court. Also get to help people that are in front of me for other reasons that are also related to substances or mental health issues. We have a great probation department led by Purity Marsh, who's here today helping set everything up. They do a great job of getting people back on track. So that's the best part, is being able to help people that have a need.
Okay, Jay's got a question for you.
Have you sent any kids to juvie?
Have I sent any kids to juvie? So we have jurisdiction of people that are 18 years and over, so only for adults. About maybe 5 years ago or so, we used to have 17-year-olds, which was kind of odd because they're not really adults yet. So there was legislation passed to keep 17-year-olds in the juvenile court system, which is part of the circuit court and the probate court downtown. So we don't see any juvenile cases. 18 and up, only adults in our court.
Okay, Ozzy's got a question for you.
What happens when the plaintiff is not present?
What happens when the plaintiff is not present? So in a case like we had our docket today, we have a prosecutor here the whole time. They're the ones that would have the files and the pleas or whatever the resolutions are written up. I've never had a day when the prosecutor hasn't shown up, which is nice. Defense attorneys don't show up, but I have never had a day when the prosecutor's not shown up. They might have been late because there's been scheduling confusion, and that's when I was the prosecutor. But yeah, the prosecutor's always here on the criminal cases. On civil cases, if the plaintiff doesn't show up, there's a possibility that the case could be dismissed. Sometimes that does happen. A lot of times it would be from a mistake on the plaintiff's side, and sometimes they'll file a motion to set aside the dismissal. So depending on what the reason is, I could set the dismissal aside and the case would continue. If I didn't set it aside, the dismissal, they could refile the case as long as it's within the appropriate time period.
Thank you. All right, Caden's got a question for you.
What's the weirdest case have you done?
The weirdest case I've had? I've had a lot of weird cases, but you know, one of the most unusual ones, and when anybody asks me a question similar to that, this is the answer that I always give them. We had, back when the television cameras would come into the courtroom for cases, which they don't seem to do as much anymore, we had all three of the local TV networks were in filming this case. I can't even remember what the case was about, but they were all leaving, and I knew that the next case was really an interesting one, and I couldn't believe that they were leaving. So a woman got up and testified, and she was 10 feet away from me in the witness stand, that the defendant came up to her car window, pointed a gun at her head, pulled the trigger, shot her in the head. She didn't die because she was testifying, but she literally had a bullet in her head, had a scar from surgery, and all this had happened within 2 weeks of her coming and testifying. And that always stood out to me as being a pretty unusual case. Someone gets shot in the head and is able to testify within 2 weeks.
Okay.
Remind me your name again.
Okay, Jaden's got an interesting question for you.
What would you be if you weren't a judge?
I couldn't hear that.
What would you be if you were not a judge?
What would I be if I was not a judge? That's a great question. So when I first applied to colleges, I got into Michigan State University. Mrs. Bono, you're familiar with the Spartans? Yes. And I got into, I was going to get into travel and tourism as my major at Michigan State. And then I couldn't root for the green and white, so I went to Bowling Green and majored in political science. But I guess I'd probably be involved in the travel and tourism industry. I still like to plan trips, so maybe I could do that for other people.
Okay, Braxton's gonna ask you a question.
Has anybody ever tried to run away when you were trying to solve a case?
I couldn't hear that.
Has anyone ever tried to run out of the courtroom?
Oh yeah, we had. I remember one of the first times I was on vacation after I started working, we had a visiting judge, and one of the defendants ran out of the courtroom. The court officer was leading him back into custody, and he shouldn't lead him, he should be behind him. So the guy ran out of the courtroom, ran outside, hopped the fence by the court, and police had to come track him down. And he had a small misdemeanor charge, and now he was looking at felony escape charges. So it wasn't a really good idea on his part to do that. And we've had other people run out of the building before, too.
Okay, Lillian has a question for you.
Have you only been a judge for Westland?
Have you only been a judge for
Yes, yeah, for 16 and a half years, like I said, yeah. Yep.
We were talking a little bit. Can you explain the difference between a federal judge in court and a district court?
So federal judges are appointed, federal district and circuit and Supreme Court judges are all appointed positions. In Michigan, all judge positions can be appointed if a judge leaves early, but they are all elected a position. So at some point in time, even if a judge is appointed in a state court, like the district court, the circuit court, the Court of Appeals, or the Supreme Court, at some point in time, they will have to run in an election to keep that position.
Okay, John has a question for you.
Have you ever had the defendant attack you?
I haven't had a defendant attack me. I did have a defendant puff his chest up to me in the hallway one time, but nothing like that. And I've got Court Officer Zach here to make sure that that doesn't happen.
All right, thank you. Ramon's got a really interesting question for you.
What inspired you to be a judge?
What inspired me to judge, I think it was the opportunity to help people, and I really have a strong interest in the law and dealing with legal issues, so I thought it would be a great combination of things to do. There's not a whole lot of legal issues that might surprise you in a lot of what I do. A lot of what I do is social work, which is great too, because I get to help people. So that second part, getting to help people, always comes into play.
All right, is there any more questions for the judge? Last call. Last call.
Are you switching classes?
We got maybe time for one more if there's another question. You can come on over, walk on over, please. Two more quick questions and then we'll be done. Okay, she has an interesting question. How many cases a year do you guys hear in district court?
We hear each day is different. On Monday mornings, I usually have 30 to 40 landlord-tenant cases, and then prisoners, whoever's arrested over the weekend. On Tuesdays, I have a misdemeanor docket like you saw here today. We usually will have around 30 to 40 cases scheduled in the morning and a few in the afternoon for trials or hearings. Wednesdays, I will typically have civil cases, which usually I'll have anywhere from 10 to 20. Each of those can be real short, or some of them can take testimony and take longer periods of time. On Thursdays, we have the felony cases, where anywhere between 10 and 20 cases each week. So every day is different, and the types of, we could have one jury trial scheduled that might take 2 full days. So every day is different. So good.
Saman has a question. He wants to know about one of the cases on the docket about a curfew violation and how those are issued. I believe it was for being in the park after it closed.
Yeah, those are issued, there's been a lot of things happening in parks late at night that shouldn't, so the police department's been very proactive in patrolling those areas and make sure there aren't people in there doing drugs or drinking alcohol. In that particular case, somebody was drinking alcohol in the park, and that's why they were given a ticket after the appropriate park hours.
All right, thank you. Can we give Judge McConnell a round of applause, please? Thank you for being here.
All right, thank you all very much for being attentive, and I hope you enjoyed the experience.